Well, thank you very much for joining us today at the Sutherland Shire Business Chamber. We're very passionate about providing education and speaker series for business owners, and particularly around topics of interest. And we did a bit of a survey, or Catherine did a bit of a survey, sort of middle of the whole lockdown, and a lot of people were interested about marketing, online, websites, LinkedIn, in terms of what's going to happen if and when we ever sort of get back to some previous normality, but I guess in terms of how to sort of benefit from the new normal. And obviously that online space is something that is going to become more and more prevalent. So we're very committed to trying to support, members and people that are interested in that. So I certainly appreciate everyone's time today. We have a few committee members here. We have Catherine Fantov, who is the marketing manager. We have David Cozzoli, who's the president of the Chamber. We also have Paul Sheaf, who's on the committee. Mark Hooper is also on the committee, and myself, Joel Curtis, I'm on the committee as well. So thank you to all the hardworking committee members on the Chamber for putting these things together, and I appreciate everyone's time today. Now, I wanted to run through, thank you, Catherine, perfect timing. Run through our platinum supporters. We have Mark Moran, the Shire. We have Nova Employment. We have Paul Sheaf from Paul's Productions and Inspire Co-work, as we've already talked about. We also have our gold and silver supporters. We have Matt Vass, who is one of our newer supporters, Sutherland Dewing, Van Cotter Partners, Shire IT, Endeavour Wellness, Ray White Commercial, Service New South Wales, Miranda Hotel and Bistro, Ansto, Club Central Menai, Expresso Net, Tradies, and IMB Bank. So we really want to thank all our gold and silver supporters for their ongoing support of the Chamber. So I'll hand it over to Catherine, who's going to run through the format of the event for today.
Thanks, Joel. So today we've got the two guest speakers, and what we will do is we'll have a Q&A at the end of the entire presentation. So during the presentations, if you have a question, if you could just pop it into the chat box, and then at the end when we have the Q&A, then we can get those answered for you. I also just wanted to touch on, there's a few non-members here today, which is fantastic, and I just wanted to touch on a special membership offer that we have running at the moment. So if you're interested in becoming a member of the Business Chamber, it's $199 plus GST for 12 months. But if you sign up this month, then we give you an extra couple of months for free. So for that, you get a business listing on our website, you get discounted rates to our events. We have a members only Facebook group where you can promote yourself and network. There's an opportunity for you to have a 5-minute member spotlight at our After 5 Drinks events. There's an alliance membership with the Business New South Wales, which gives you a few calls free of charge. We have regular networking events, business breakfasts, After 5 Drinks, and speed networking. And when we get back to face-to-face, your first business breakfast is on us. Also you have an opportunity to be nominated and elected to the committee, which David will touch on at the very end of the presentation.
Excellent. Thank you, Catherine. Highly recommend becoming a member. We're awesome people, and it's an awesome chamber to be part of. And a lot of what we're doing at the moment is online. So in terms of, you don't have to be in the Shire to benefit from getting access to some of our meetings. So please feel free to talk to Catherine if you would like some more information. Without further ado, we'll turn it straight over to our first speaker. Jamie Walker of Studio Twofold is a gentleman that I actually know and do a lot of work with personally, so I can verify Jamie's work, and I'm really excited about his presentation today. Studio Twofold is an integrated, full-service creative studio, creating digital experiences and design solutions for large and small businesses alike to bring your brand to life. Jamie will give a quick rundown of the importance of your digital marketing strategy, all the pillars that make up digital marketing, along with his top tips to making each one work together for the layman. I'll turn over to you, Jamie. Thanks very much.
Thanks. That's a really good introduction. I don't need to introduce myself now. So, hi everyone. So Joel encapsulated it quite well. I'm going to walk through kind of just the different pillars to give you an overall view of like what digital marketing is and how it can help your business. So I've got all my notes to the side here. So if you see my eyes looking over here, that's because I haven't memorized the whole thing, which is fair enough. Also, if I start talking in jargon, if I start talking like the SEO, ROI, all that stuff, let me know. Put it in the comments if I'm going above anyone's head. Because I tried to keep this as simple as possible and just to break it down so you can kind of decide what options would be available for your business that would work best for your business in its current stage. Every business is different, so no one knows your business better than you. So let me get my PowerPoint up, I guess. Where are we? Give me 2 secs. Share screen, share. Cool, I think it's working now. Everyone see it? All right. Cool. All right, so it's easy to get overwhelmed with digital marketing. And everybody is always telling you, you should do this, you should jump into LinkedIn, you should jump into Instagram. Why isn't your business on TikTok? You should be writing blogs. And it gets overwhelming very quickly. And the thing is, for businesses these days, it's so important to carve out your space online, wherever that might be. Because for a lot of people and a lot of the younger generation, if you're not online, then your business doesn't exist to them. The first thing most people do before they walk into a restaurant is they'll look up the reviews for that restaurant. The first thing, when anyone wants to buy a product, they'll look up reviews for that product. Even me, when I'm in Big W or something, I'll quickly look up the model number for a heater to make sure it doesn't have any issues. So it's really important that you put your best foot forward when you're online. So digital marketing, essentially the difference between traditional marketing, it's really semantics, really. It's still marketing, but it's the marketing that involves electronic devices and communicating through electronic devices and online. And the reason I think is, has anyone got the newspaper recently? You know, the local, what is it, the Leader, the Sutherland Shire Leader? They've stopped making it. News Corp cut nearly like 100 of their local newspapers just because they didn't see the value in print anymore. They've moved everything to online. And then there's other examples like the biggest hotel in the world at the moment doesn't own a single hotel. It's Airbnb. And the biggest taxi company in the world would be Uber, and they don't own a single taxi. So it's really important to understand how the transition from every business is different. So maybe that doesn't lend your business to exactly those kind of models, but it's important to understand that being online and having a space there is really important. So before I go on, there's 2 quick points I want to touch on, and I know I'm very short on time for this talk, so I just want to touch on them quickly. The first one is strategy. Before you dive into anything and dive headfirst into whatever, it's really important to have a strategy. And the reason for that is because it's easy to get overwhelmed when you're doing blog posts and you're doing videos, and it's important that they all align so that your end user can kind of see an overall message through all those channels, and they're actually amplifying each other to give you the best return on that investment. And the best strategy, as I said there, is diagnosing the challenge, like what problem are you actually trying to solve with your digital marketing, and understanding that problem, and then putting actions in there to address that problem. Okay, and the second one is, sorry, I'm having trouble clicking to the next slide. The second really important thing to understand is your audience. You need to know who you're marketing to. You don't market baby bottles to 60-year-old men, although that might be a niche. I don't think so. But
nappies would.
Nappies would, yeah. Adult diapers, yeah, that's a good option. So for example, if you're a bookkeeper and you are selling your services to accountants or to other growing businesses that don't have the time to do their own bookkeeping, it's really important to understand what problems that those business owners are having. Like, their problem might not be reconciling their accounts. Their problem might be their time is too valuable to sit down for 3 hours a week to do everything. So their problem might be about their time, not about their bookkeeping. So it's really important to understand that. And if you actually learn how to read your target audience's minds, you get more leads, you get more customers, and more referrals. So let's go on to the pillars of digital marketing. And like I said, everybody will tell you something different about digital marketing, and it's important to decide what's best for you and your business. Because when you try to do everything, you end up not doing anything very well, and it costs you money, you get jaded, you don't see the results that you need. So it's better to divide and conquer and pick one or two that you can do really well, and do them the best that you can, and put all your focus into those, because essentially running a business is about focus. And if you can nail one or two of these, it's really going to help your business more than doing a little bit on every single one will, by a long shot. Okay, so I'm going to quickly jump through. I don't have much time, so I'm going to quickly jump through each pillar here. And then remember to jot down any questions you do have in the chat, so that at the end I'll be able to actually let you know, like, answer any of the questions that you do have. Okay, without further ado, SEO. So SEO is how your website comes up on Google. So people search for bookkeepers in the Sutherland Shire. You're going to, you want to come up first, because almost all the clicks, like 70% plus, is in the top 5 people in Google. So if you're not in the top 5 Google, when's the last time you clicked to page 2 on Google to find what you're looking for? It's quite rare. So SEO is the art and the skill and the science, I guess, of getting into that top 5. And skipping through quickly, to do SEO, essentially it's divided into 2 sections, on-site and off-site. On-site is what you do on your website. So how you write the words on your website, what images you put on your website, how quickly your website loads, are all really important factors that Google consider when they're deciding who to put at first in their results. So there's a couple of quick things you can do. And I know some of this might be, I tried to keep them as simple as possible, but I needed to ensure that your site is SSL/HTTPS. So otherwise Google will barely consider it. And that is that, you know, that little padlock that comes up on the top of sites? You don't want your website to come up with not secure, because it just means it's not sending it encrypted. If it's encrypted, Google will prioritize you over other sites that are not encrypted. So it's really important to do that. The other one is ensure all your images are searchable. So if you ever hover on an image on a website, just leave your mouse hovering on that image for a minute. Sometimes a little help text comes up. Does everyone know has everyone seen that? That little help text is called alt text. And that means if somebody is blind and they're using a screen reader, or the website doesn't load properly, it will say what that image is. It's important that that text is in there so Google can, Google knows that you've built the site properly, and people viewing that site will have a better experience. So the other ones, reduce your photo sizes, make sure that they are appropriate. If you load in a massive photo and it takes a long time to load, that's not good. Your site takes too long to load. And the last one there is just make sure your website's easy to navigate. If it's a simple brochure site, it's not too much of an issue. If it's a larger site where people are going to your website to do a specific function, make it as easy as possible for them to do that function and to find out that information they want. If they're signed up for a course previously, like you sign courses on your website, and they go back to your website, how do they get back onto that course that they've already bought for and logged in? So just think through what your customers are trying to do on your website, like their journey of what their objective is, and try to solve that as easy as possible. All right, I'm gonna have to go a little bit quicker because there's a lot of little things to touch on. The second side, so that was the first thing, that's on your website, SEO. The second factor to consider is off your website SEO. And that's all the things you can do to help your rankings that don't directly involve your website. So adding your website to, if you Google the term Search Console or Google Search Console, there's a little app that you can log into that Google gives you, that you put your website in there, and it will show you how many people are searching for your site and what people are looking for when they find your website. It's really helpful to find out like how often your site is coming up in the searches, and also gives you some suggestions on what you should do to optimize your site for Google. The second one there is Google My Business, which is everyone Googled a business and it comes up on the side there. It's important that that is polished off. Put your images in there, put your logo in there, make sure your opening times and close times are correct. Make sure you get as many people as you can to put reviews in there, because Google considers all this when it's promoting different businesses in the area. Okay, the third one there is backlinks. A backlink is when someone links to your website. So on say, for example, if I wrote a blog and I wrote, oh, there's accountants, this is the best accountant, and I put a link to an accountant's website, then when Google's looking through all the internet and it sees like all these people are linking to this certain accountant in Sutherland Shire, then it's going to think that must be a good accountant. I'm going to promote their website to the first thing, because Google wants their viewers to have a good experience. So it's going to show people the best businesses it can find. The last one there is social media. Putting links back to your website from your social media. If you're doing Facebook posts, if you're doing LinkedIn posts, to now and then post back to your website. And now Google also considers how many times posts are being shared and liked, and the engagement on those social networks. So the more times more people engage with you on those social networks, the more Google will show your website online. Okay, I'd ask if there's any questions, because we're going to jump straight through to the next one. There's no time to stop. Next, content marketing. This is the other pillar. So this is essentially, I'm going to read this phrase, a strategic marketing approach focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience and drive that audience to action. So what that means is, so has anyone ever received emails and they look forward to opening those emails? That might be, for example, if I'm in finance and I get an email from a bank once a week, and that email has like the best tips on how I should be handling my stocks, or the inside tips on that kind of thing. So every industry has these niche newsletters that really help them out. Like, for example, I look forward to ones that give me the inside scoop on the digital marketing stuff, or how websites have changed and what the latest technologies are to be implementing to take advantage of this kind of things, and information that I can then give value to my clients. That is content marketing. The business that writes those emails isn't doing it just for the fun of it. They're doing that to build their brand. They're doing it to hopefully establish that relationship, so that when you need those products and services that they're talking about, that they already have an engaged audience that they can sell to. So it's not about posting. If you do it on Facebook, for example, building an audience on Facebook, it's not about posting on Facebook and building and for the sake of your ego and whatnot. It's about slowly adding to that audience through the posts you do continually and consistently, giving value to those people, so that in the future, when you do have something to sell, you instantly have a free audience you can sell to, you can talk to. So it's all about building that up. So just on the tips there, the first, I kind of touched on those other ones, but the first one is, even if you don't plan on using Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, like if some of the social networks aren't applicable to your business, it's really good just to bookmark them. Save your business name, put your logo on there, put 1 or 2 posts, so someone else doesn't, like a competitor doesn't come in and steal it from you. So yeah, okay. So that essentially is content marketing. There's a lot of different areas within that, depending on what you want to go into. Writing a blog, creating an ebook and giving it to customers, writing case studies, giving people free templates, creating videos on Instagram TV or just YouTube videos. Doing podcasts is also a great way of doing it. And then just, yeah, social media posts. There's a lot you can be doing in that one. Okay. Next, pay-per-click. So this is essentially, as you can see on the slide there, it can be Google ads. It can be LinkedIn ads. The advantage of doing pay-per-click over SEO or some of the other ones is SEO takes months, if not like a year, to start getting a return on the investment and feedback, whereas pay-per-click, it takes hours. If you have something you can instantly get people on, you can put an ad up. Every time someone clicks on that ad, you have to pay Google anywhere between a couple of cents to $20, $30, $40, depending on what your industry is and how competitive it is to buy that top slot on Google.
Here's a Google result.
Oh, Google's talking to me. So the next best thing about pay-per-click is the intention. So when people go to Google and they type in, I keep going back to bookkeepers, but bookkeepers in Sutherland Shire, they're looking for a bookkeeper in the Sutherland Shire. You know that person is hot. So paying a couple of dollars to get that person onto your website might be worth it in the long run to convert that lead. So the couple of tips for doing pay-per-click is to scale. So start small. You can just say, oh, I'm going to put like $10 or $20 just to test the theory. And then if you see results, you can do it up to $30, $40, $50, and turn that $50 into $100 down the track. So it's really good to scale that. Second one is copy is really important. The wording that you put in those ads, you can do what's called A/B testing. There's a version A and there's a version B. And you put them both up and you show some people version A and some people version B. And you find out which wording is more accurate, which wording sells better very easily. It's like right there in the numbers, like 20% of people clicked on this and only 5% people clicked on this. You instantly know what people are looking for in your business and what kind of copy converts. So people keep it into it. And the last one there is follow up. So when people do click through to your website, what are you giving them to capture their information? Even if they don't buy from you right then, maybe you could offer them a free ebook. So if I'm looking for mortgages, for an example, and I click through, it might be like, oh, download our free book about first home loans for Gen Zs. I think Birdie does something similar to this. And capture that email. Then you get something, even if they don't buy from you right then, you get something for those couple of dollars that you paid. You get that email address that you can market to down the track. Okay, 2 minutes to go. All right. So the other one is email marketing, which is a type of content marketing. Important thing about sending people emails is to start a database. That's wrong. Start a database. Start collecting all the emails and put them into something as simple as a spreadsheet. Even if you don't plan to do it now, just start collecting those emails because that database is so valuable when you start actually emailing them. Tone of voice is important. Be friendly. Don't be too clinical when you're writing to emails. Write them as if you're writing to a friend. And we've already touched on add value. Make sure that they're getting something from it. People aren't going to sign up to something that they're being sold to continually. You need to give them something. And the last one is only email people really when you have something to say. Don't spam them for the sake of, oh, I got to send an email out this week. And the two last ones, conversion optimization is just making sure all that copy and everything across all your marketing is optimized to sell. So all the different avenues, your website looks great on your mobile, you're giving clear value to those people using simple language. Going quickly now because I have to wrap up, but we can come back to these if you have a question. And the last two here is affiliate marketing, which is kind of referral based. If somebody gives me, I can tell someone, for every person that you send my way, I'll give you a cut of the sale. And you can do that online through the links and everything. So everything is automated. It's a really cool way of selling products online. And the last one is influencers. And I won't go into that now because we're out of time. But ask me if you have any questions about that. And I just want to leave you with the kind of thing. when it comes to all the digital marketing things, people really don't remember what you said, and they'll forget what you did really, but people don't forget how you made them feel. Did your business make them feel valued and looked after, and you had their best interest in heart? And that's the most important thing in digital marketing this year and going forwards, is the experience you're giving people. So thanks.